7814 US 601. It's a residence in our Dobson community that the Surry County Sheriff's Office has been involved in answering numerous calls for service and citizen complaints at for approximately 4 years. The homeowner at this residence is Tabitha Cass Stevens. The ALE has a nuisance abatement team that we work closely with to address problem residences within our community. So at this particular address, the Surry County Sheriff's Office ran multiple disturbance calls, overdose related calls for service, shootings, property crimes, different disturbance calls, the arrest of wanted people, drug-related incidents resulted in search warrants and drug arrest, suspicious persons and vehicles, and a wide range of other calls for service at that residence. So they could enter basically a civil lawsuit for a nuisance abatement property through our court system. In this particular case, Ms. Cass Stevens consented to certain terms, conditions, and in this particular case that was agreeing to vacate her property and to sell her property with a real estate agent. The monies from the sale will go to Ms. Cass Stevens. If Ms. Cass Stevens was to violate the terms, conditions of this order, it would be punishable as contempt of court. One particular residence taken up not only the Sheriff's Office deputies out here on the road answering calls for service, it's also our medical professionals and first responders going to the same residence over and over and over and over again. It does tie up resources when we should be spread out throughout our community answering calls different places that were needed.
Well, the nuisance abatement type investigations get started by a sheriff, a district attorney, or chief of police making a written request to the ALE nuisance and abatement team. The ALE will investigate and determine if the property meets the criteria for the investigation. Now, the ALE special agents do all the interviews, the affidavits from neighbors and that type of thing, and do the title researches on the properties. And they just work closely with the law enforcement agencies. They spearhead the investigation, but they work closely with us. These are the reports that we provided in this particular incident to the ALE that they had to review. The investigation and information gathered for this lawsuit was a joint effort between members of the Surry County Sheriff's Office and members of the ALE's nuisance abatement team. This judgment brings a much-needed change to a community that has been negatively impacted for an extended period of time.
The judge's office, Superior Court Judge Angie Puckett, has been awesome to work with. She realizes the problems that we've had and was worked with us well and with ALE. It's just been a great partnership overall. You know, sometimes it seems like nothing's going to get done, but it takes some time, and everybody came together and has had a good conclusion of it. Overall, you know, sometimes it's not easy to make these nuisance abatements come to play. There's a whole lot of factors that go into it. You know, North Carolina General Statutes 19 is where it comes from. There's a lot of factors that have to come into play, but we will continue to do this at anywhere that we can. You know, our citizens of this county deserve a quiet, peaceful neighborhood to be able to live, and we're doing our very best to make that happen.
And at the Surry County Sheriff's Office, we're appreciative of Ms. Cass Stevens agreeing to the terms and conditions of this consent order. We hope that the citizens in the community will have some relief from the nuisance that was created at that residence.